On May 3rd, 2017, Vice.com published an article titled Power Bottom, America's Next Great Rock Band. The article's cover photo was alluring, with a high-quality photo depicting two musicians gazing into the camera, Ben Hopkins and Liv Bruce. The article read, "Every buzzy it band of the week is playing off something. The Laurel Canyon singer-songwriters, the post-punk of the Fallen Joy Division, the nonchalance of 90s darlings like Pavement or whatever, but Power Bottom is playing themselves." However, these praises were, at best, short-lived. On May 16th, 2017, just 2 weeks later, an article titled, "Last week Power Bottom was the next big thing in punk, now the band is in ruins and fans are reeling," appeared on the internet. So who was Power Bottom, and how did they lose their next big thing status in a matter of weeks? Power Bottom was an American queer punk duo formed in 2013 by college students Liv Bruce and Ben Hopkins. They met at Bard College in Annandale-on-Hudson, New York in 2011, but didn't become friends until late 2013. Ben says they had a conscientious understanding of each other's existence at least 2 years before they started rocking out together. But the first time they met formally was at Ben's apartment, where Liv allegedly crashed a party that wasn't really a party. From that point on, they decided to pair up and make music together. In an interview, Ben states, "We started Power Bottom second semester of my senior year of college, which was obviously like the ultimate Hail Mary for anyone to try to start a long-term creative project. We never thought it would be a long-term creative project." During their time at Bard, they played a handful of shows on campus before Ben graduated. After months of collaborating and crafting their skills, Power Bottom unveiled their demo EP, Cinderella Beauty Shop. They released it May 25th, 2014, the day Ben graduated from college. Ben says, "We were just trying to make a demo so we could get shows, so we could get people to come see us and book us places outside of Bard." After Ben graduated college, the two began pouring their time and energy into pursuing Power Bottom. Through light touring and the power of the internet, Power Bottom began etching their name into the indie/alternative scene. It was easy for people to connect with them because they made no mystery about who they were.
Respectful of each other's spaces, and if anybody feels unsafe in any way, let me know and I'll shut that shit down.
Liv states, "Because we're exposing something that's so personal about ourselves in our music, that makes everyone, including people who aren't queer, feel like they're in on something." Many perceived them as allies to the queer community and viewed them as heroes. At the time, there was an even deeper hunger for progressive icons, and Power Bottom helped fill that void. On tour, they requested gender-neutral bathrooms and opened their set by announcing, "This is a safe space." Fans lauded Ben and Liv for having the courage to speak out on issues they felt important, including but not limited to gender identity and the mistreatment of marginalized communities. On stage, they sported their unique brand of drag, featuring shirts, dresses, and jackets that looked like they'd been salvaged from a local thrift store. They completed their look by smearing on lipstick, caking their faces with bright, colorful makeup, and garnishing themselves with glitter. They stood out like a sore thumb at any concert or festival they played, but this worked to their advantage. While Ben and Liv made a spectacle of themselves on stage, they backed up their visually striking performance with skill, talent, and ability. On September 18th, 2015, Power Bottom released their debut LP, Ugly Cherries, through Father-Daughter Records. According to Father-Daughter, the album is about the duo's experiences with queerness, gender, and adulthood over the course of a year living in upstate New York. Fans and critics praised the album for its unabashed honesty and captivating riffs. After releasing Ugly Cherries, Ben and Liv were on an upward spiral. They had a full album out, they were playing shows, gaining new fans, and loved what they were doing. Power Bottom spent the rest of the year playing shows scattered across the East Coast. They played just over 20 shows in 2015. The following year, Ben and Liv dove headfirst into touring. With a brand new album under their belts and a burgeoning fan base, Power Bottom was in the perfect position to go out on the road. They already had some experience being traveling musicians, but that was nothing compared to the schedule they'd take on. In 2016, they played just over 70 shows with bands like Pity Sex, Rah Rah Riot, and the Dresden Dolls. To a seasoned touring band, that may seem like an easy schedule, but going from light touring to spending 20% of the year on the road is life-altering. In September, Ben and Liv announced they had signed with indie label Polyvinyl Records and were set to release their sophomore LP in 2017. Later that year, in mid-November, a Power Bottom show became the ill-fated target of an anti-gay protest. The band described the experience in a statement to Spin. "We played at Big Sleepy's in Jackson, Mississippi, which is an all-ages DIY space. As I was eating dinner in the van, I saw 4 men with giant signs walking up to our show. They posted up outside and proceeded to yell homophobic stuff at the crowd the entire night. We moved the entrance to the show to the back of the venue and blocked off the windows at the front. It was a freaky-ass night, but the local police helped us keep things safe." In addition, Ben said the picketers were wearing GoPro-style portable cameras. They were like baiting us to hit them. They wanted to be able to sue us. This interaction helped form the perception that Power Bottom could handle anything thrown their way, and that seemingly nothing could kill their momentum. They played their final show of 2016 on December 9th in Berlin, Germany, with support from the Spook School. On February 14th, 2017, Power Bottom announced their second album, Pageant, was set to release on May 12th, alongside a new single and music video for their song Big Beautiful Day. The lyrics to Big Beautiful Day served as a message to oppressed queer kids. However, it was their alliance to the queer community which accelerated their swift and unforgiving downfall. Because Ben and Liv aligned themselves so close with the queer community, on a subconscious level, people assumed they could do no wrong, and had a spotless record. Their fall from grace was absent of pity because people felt like they had been intentionally deceived. A since-deleted tweet illustrates this feeling. Friendly reminder to stop letting Power Bottom use their status as allies to do whatever the fuck they want. On May 10th, 2017, days before the release of Power Bottom's second album, Pageant, a user named Kitty Cordero made a post to Facebook group DIY Chicago. They accused Ben Hopkins of initiating inappropriate sexual contact and being a known abuser in the scene. Their post reads, "Ben from Power Bottom is a known sexual predator, perpetrator of multiple assaults, etc. And you should avoid going to their shows, /boycott their music, /not allow them in safe spaces. I have personally seen Ben initiate inappropriate sexual contact with people despite several no's and without warning or consent. And in the last few months have heard stories of Ben talking crap about other queer artists for their own gain and bullying other queer artists, as well as making unwanted advances on minors despite knowing their age and emotional abuse in relationships. Almost every single one of Ben's victims is queer." The following day, Kitty took to Twitter to provide screenshots in an effort to corroborate their claims. They detail how Ben's father is allegedly a predator, that Liv has allegedly been outed as well, that they misused their GoFundMe money, and how many others have been contacting them with similar stories. A user under the pseudonym Jen contacted online publication Jezebel to share their experience with Ben. She described being assaulted while intoxicated by Ben after a Power Bottom show last year. Jen said she initially thought they seemed like an okay person because of what they preach, referring to the band's vocal interest in social justice. After Ben took Jen home, they allegedly made sexually aggressive advances and started having sex with her without permission, while also refusing to wear protection. Later, while she was asleep, Jen said she woke up to Hopkins trying to have sex with her again. Early this year, Hopkins' bandmate Liv Bruce reached out to Jen after hearing stories, and she told Bruce everything about her assault. Their response to me was, "I don't think Ben knows what they did. Maybe you should reach out to them," Jen said. They never spoke about it again and continued being in the band. Although Ben and Liv declined to comment on the allegations, they did make a Facebook post attempting to save face, stating the allegations came as a surprise. Ben says they strongly contest the account put forth in Jezebel, denying the reported account of their alleged sexual assault. Additionally, someone accused Ben of anti-Semitism, accompanied by an old photo of them posing next to a swastika drawn in the sand. They had already apologized for the photo at the end of 2016, saying they had changed and that's not who they were anymore. But the assault accusations nullified this apology, making fans question everything they've ever said and stand for. After the allegations surfaced, Power Bottom's management dropped them, removed their music from streaming platforms, canceled all upcoming shows, and terminated their relationship with Polyvinyl Records. Father-daughter also stopped distributing Ugly Cherries. On June 13th, the Fader reported Power Bottom had begun working with new management. They paired up with label executive and manager Lisa Barbaras, who secured the distribution rights to re-release their 2015 debut album, Ugly Cherries. To this day, Power Bottom has not reached an agreement with Polyvinyl to re-release/distribute Pageant. The album is unavailable on streaming services and isn't for sale digitally. The record label commented on the situation in a now 3-year-old article. Polyvinyl wishes to make the transition as easy as possible and has no desire to prevent the band from releasing Pageant once an agreement has been reached. The reason for Power Bottom's rise and fall is clear. It's a case of saying one thing and doing another. Ben and Liv were all about being queer and creating safe spaces, but reportedly did the opposite behind the scenes. The phenomenon that is Power Bottom now serves as a case study for internet cancellation, while the band members themselves stand as symbols of betrayal and deception. Power Bottom's story is a lesson. The internet does not forget.